Hello, I am making fruit and nut cookies from the milk calendar. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got about 1¼ cups of dried fruit, and I put in some raisins. To that, add a cup of milk, and then just sit that off to the side while you're getting the other stuff ready. So in my pan here, my bowl, I have a cup of softened butter, and to that I'm going to add 1¼ cups of brown sugar and mix it up. Now once that's mixed, you want to add one egg, and whip it until it's nice and fluffy looking. Now the rest of the ingredients are going to be mixed in by hand. This, I just used the mixer because I wanted to whip it up a bit. I suppose you could do it by hand, use a fork or a whisk, whatever, but back in the old days we had a old beater that you cranked like that. Much easier now with a electric beater. So now to this I'm going to add, I've got everything, 2½ cups of oats, 1½ cups of whole wheat flour, so it's semi-healthy, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and I also put about ½ teaspoon of ginger, ½ teaspoon of salt. So that is going to be all mixed in together. Once you get it mixed in, then stir in your dried fruit milk. So I will start mixing this, and then once it gets a little bit harder to mix up, then I'll put in my dried fruit and my milk. So you can see it's fairly mixed, but it's still very dry. So this is when I'm going to add my fruit and milk. So add that in. Then continue to mix until everything is mixed. While you're doing your preparation, your oven should be preheating 375. The milk calendar also calls for 1/3 cup of flaxseed, ground flaxseed. And since I don't have that, I am going to put in, I have some pumpkin seeds. They're not ground, mind you, but I'm just going to add a handful of pumpkin seeds and continue to mix everything. So I've got everything mixed up here. I've got my pan lined with parchment paper. You could just lightly grease it if you don't have parchment paper. You know what also I found? You can cut brown paper and apply grease to it, It's very similar to parchment paper, and applying the oil, the grease, whatever you use, will keep your paper from burning. So to put these on your cookie sheet, tablespoonful, put it onto your sheet, and then just flatten it down a bit. And you're going to cook these for about 15 minutes, rotating your pan halfway through. Here is the first batch of fruit and nut cookies out of the oven. They smell delicious. I have to let them cool for a couple minutes and then I'll try one. I turned my oven down to 350. I've got 5 loaves of 7 cereal bread ready to go in the oven. That recipe is on my channel. And also today, before I went to Tunes in the Park, I made crock pot beans. So that's also on my channel. So I hope everyone has a good day.